I can get out of this game, guys.
Welcome to another edition of Hardcore Wrestling Rants. I am your hardcore host, Rick Kennedy, and I'm joined by the hardcore crew. First, from the Skeleton Realms, he's the Lord Skeleton himself, Joseph Knight. Joe, what's going on?
Nothing much. What a great pay-per-view. What a great farewell to the Stinger.
Oh, absolutely. We're going to talk about that and a lot more. And then over from Lance Moss TV, he's the incomparable Lance Moss. Lance, what's shaking?
Oh, not too much. It's just, well, let's have some fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Why don't we jump right into things? And I want to start off, and this came down the wire yesterday, that Sammy Guevara has reportedly been suspended since, actually, it was February 14th. Jeff Hardy suffered a concussion, and this is where certain protocols were not followed. Guevara followed up with a shooting star press, in which is a move that should not have been executed considering Hardy's situation. Fans took to social media and started blaming Sammy for Hardy's condition. AEW has not yet made a public statement regarding Sammy's being rumored suspension or anything else. As of this post, we don't know how long Sammy's going to be out of action, or even if he is in fact suspended. This is, guys, right now, just the rumors mill. Joe, your thoughts on this?
You know, the crazy thing here is you can blame Sammy Guevara all you want. There's two other people you got to blame. First of all, Meth Head Hardy. You got to blame him because even if you have a concussion, there's a reason why they squeeze each other's hand or the ref squeezes your hand. So he could have told him, look, I think something's wrong, end the match. Okay, that's number one. Number two, the referee is supposed to be on this guy saying, hey, are you all right? And he could have stopped the match. So before they all pile this on Sammy Guevara, which is, what are you supposed to do? Stop the whole freaking match because nobody knows what the hell's going on? You don't do that in professional wrestling. You keep it going until the referee calls it. It's the ref's call. If the ref whispers, hey, take it home, then you take it home. If not, you just put the X up. It's time to get that corpse out of the ring and end the match. So I think everybody's involved. Meth Hardy for not really telling anybody what's going on. The ref's at fault for not fucking telling the other participants, hey, this idiot here is hurt. Stop the match or pin him. Let's get out of here. So it's not all Sammy's fault. Sammy was doing what a normal wrestler would do.
All right. Lance, your thoughts on all this?
Well, one, they shouldn't blame Sammy because, well, in the wrestling industry, accidents happen. It's not like he came out there and like, oh, I'm going to give Jeff Hardy a damn concussion or some shit like that. I mean, hell, prior to this match, Jeff took a picture with Sammy, Ty, and their kid. So, yeah. But they might have given Jeff a little bit more leeway because it's not like he's a stranger to gigantic ass bumps.
And that's a very fair point. I'd like to welcome Terry 3G into the room. He says, evening, folks. Back on my PC for now. Ha, ha, ha. And, hey, if Darby Allin can bleed out after the pay-per-view, Hardy can stop being an ill bitch. I'm sorry, little bitch. You know what? And that's a fair point. We are going to talk about that. Joe, did we lose you?
No, I'm still here. My camera went wonky. I think it was just Skype, but I'll be right back on it, so it's not a big deal.
All
right. Since we're gonna bring up the Stinger and Darby Allin, that was a great fucking pay-per-view. I know I have to go up there, but Tony Khan did confirm that Sting will be, this was his last match, and of course now that they're still the AEW champions, they're going to have to forfeit the championships, and now it'll be vacated. So there's going to be a tournament coming up. I'm guessing tonight on Dynamite. But I guess, Lance, you have to really wonder, where does this leave Darby?
Well, there's one of two ways that he can go. Either he can go find another partner, or he can go start chasing the TNT or the what is it, TBS or TNT now?
TNT.
Okay, so he can either chase the TNT title or go start chasing the world title. So
There I
the
am.
3 options he has.
Well, I think he still has a few other ones. There are the Intercontinental Continental Classic Championship. There's also the International Championship. So there are other mid-card championships that Darby could go after. Joe, your thoughts?
Or it's about time Darby gets shrunk down a little bit in the roster. Let's all admit one thing. If it wasn't for the Stinger, Darby will still be a mid-carder.
Oh, absolutely.
Bottom of the card, he'll still be feuding with Sammy Guevara and the other little lower echelon guys. If it wasn't for Sting, he wouldn't be where he is today. Without the Stinger, you lose that name value. And let's face it, Sammy's not as big as Swerve Strickland. He's not as powerful as Samoa Joe. Hell, he's not as big as Wardlow. So the time has come for little Darby to start sitting back, play with the Barbies, and just now slow down. He's been to the top. He's won a singles title. He's won a tag title. He was part of an important match.
He was actually a two-time TNT championship.
Yep. So now his time is come and gone. It's time for Darby to now step aside gracefully. He's done everything he could do. He's not going to get the world title. He could maybe go for the TBS title, or TNT title. Good luck with that one. Or he can become a trios partner with someone. There's nothing else Darby can do. His biggest cash cow is now retired. Regardless of how much Sting passes the torch, when you're 110 pounds soaking wet and you're wearing little boom boom shorts with long black stockings underneath, I respect him for all the hard work he does. Fuck, he went through a sugar glass and cut himself really bad.
Oh my God!
Damn it!
I give the kid props. He can do it in the ring. But what have I said, everybody? Is you can do all the high bumps you want. You're shortening your career. And you're not gaining anything. Yeah, oh, wow, yeah, he did this. We were even cheering. Oh, shit, he did this.
Yeah.
But, Darby, how long are you going to keep going until you break a leg, you break your neck, you break your spine? Eventually, you're going to be like Undertaker that can't even stand up straight.
Or even Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
Or Hulk Hogan. So, Rick, I think Darby's time has come and gone. We probably might see a new team rise up and claim those belts.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we've seen a couple of other teams. I wouldn't say a new team, not necessarily. But right now the BCC got going on. FDR, they're heading out the door, but I'm sure they wouldn't mind at least one more crack. You got Top Flight. I know you don't like them. Private Party. I know you're not a fan of them. There's all these other tag teams that are in there that never really got a shot at the titles because
they're too small.
It's not even too small. No, I'll say weren't famous enough. More than too small.
They're too small.
Wait a minute. Joe, what team in AEW is big? They're mostly small guys in these tag teams.
Yeah.
Well, right now you got the BCC, which are pretty big.
Yeah.
You can put, what Brian Cage teamed with Hobbs at one time.
House of Black.
House of Black. I think you're going to start seeing some of these guys start moving up and maybe give the belts to them. Top Flight, whatever, Private Party or whatever the fuck. These guys are so skinny they should be serving me fries with my burger. They need to put it like this: if they battled the likes of the Road Warriors, they'll be going to Animal and Hawk. Yeah. Are you just tapping me on my shoulder? And the kid will be spinning 3 times before he hits the ground.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Like I said, I mean, we know that Darby's not a large guy, and I understand that he's not, he'll never be, 300 pounds, 6'5", whatever. I get that, and I understand that. But the bumps this guy takes, oh my God, it's scary. It makes Jeff Hardy look humble.
Yeah.
I mean, that spot where he went through the chairs and the plate, that little glass, as you said, it was a sugar glass, and I didn't expect it to be anything. And all of a sudden, I'm like, oh, I saw his back, and I'm like, oh my God, that's a fucking murder scene. He's dead. They killed Darby.
Oh my God, they killed Darby. You bastards.
And again, guys, how much more can you beat your body? We've had guys from Hulk Hogan, Randy Savage, Ric Flair, Sting, who just retired. You've had a lot of these guys who didn't have to do fancy high bumps, who made it to the top, who lasted for decades and then finally stopped. These kids today, they do high spot, put themselves to glass tables, fucking maybe flaming dildos, whatever the fuck.
I haven't seen that yet.
That'd be a first.
Give it time. Well, they probably listen to the show. Now they'll do that. It's what you're doing is shortening your career. Darby is going to shorten his career now for doing all these bumps and continuing to do all these bumps. You're just shrinking down your ring time. So maybe 5 years from now, he's going to be like, I can't even fucking get over the rope, because his body's going to be that beaten. You can't keep doing 100%. Yeah. Look at Brillo Head from Top Flight when he broke his leg.
Dante Martin you're referring to.
Yeah.
Yeah. He didn't learn. He kept doing the high spots.
Well, I think
next time, if he breaks his neck, I'm going to applaud every fucking minute. It's like Daffy Duck. Remember when Daffy Duck's drinking those explosives, and he drops a match and he explodes? Well, it can only do it once. When these guys break a neck, I can only see it. I'll see it once, and they'll be like draws, fucking wheelchairs, sipping shit through a straw. Stupid.
Well, you know what? Since I want to talk about another match that I think was really kind of a dark horse of the match, and that was the Will Ospreay versus Takeshita match. That was an incredible match, Joe.
Oh, yeah, no. See, that was a good match, but notice they took their time. They did their moves. They went back and forth. They didn't need to do such crazy over-the-top shit. They did their high spots. They slowed it down. They performed a wrestling fucking match. They got in there, did it. It was old. I would call it like this, Japanese-style wrestling. And they sold it. I think that was, to me, match of the night.
All right. Well, like I said, I mean, I guess because it was Sting's last match, I kind of had to give that little extra notch to him. Lance, your thoughts on both the Will Ospreay and Takeshita's match?
What, honestly, like Joe said, it's a modern take on traditional Japanese wrestling.
Yeah. All right. The one match I have to say that I can honestly say I would not miss was the women's title match, which was Toni Storm, who defeated Deonna Purrazzo. I thought this was going to be a bigger match considering the history between these two, Lance, and it was like, okay, this could have been done on Rampage, and I wouldn't have missed it.
I'm going to say this once. Why in the French fried fuck do they have the belt on Toni Storm?
Well,
it's a comedy gimmick.
Yeah, I agree. And comedy gimmicks very rarely should be held on a champion. That started even before that when she, I think it was when she was still with the Outcasts and she had some kind of mental breakdown.
Mm-hmm.
And then that was it. And then they decided, oh yeah, let's go with it. And it doesn't work. Joe, your thoughts?
God, I hate Toni Storm.
No, you don't say.
It's like tiredness, Toni Storm. We're tired of looking at her. We're tired of her gimmick. We're tired of fucking the way she acts. It's like, we're going to feel me closer, Mr. DeVille. One time it's funny, haha. You get to see it. It's a gimmick, yeah, fine. When you compete, repeating it, it almost like Goldust. Remember, Goldust used to come out with Marlena, and they would have the little action thing, and he would do the same thing.
Yeah.
Now this dumb chick is doing it herself. Is not getting over. Then you set her up with Chubby Perazzo, and she didn't. The match was, in my opinion, if we were to do the what's that piece of shit who does newsletters and rates shit, if we were to give it 5 stars, that match will be maybe 1/4 of a star. Because that's how boring that shit
That
is.
far.
You're nice.
Maybe.
And Terry 3G also mentioned that when it comes to Tony Storm, she goes, yeah, it's getting so old now. It's literally tits up. And unfortunately, Tony Storm's a hot lady, but she doesn't have big tits for that, so.
Yep, she's lost that, and Dana Perazzo got more stomach than tits, though.
Yeah, and
No.
I'm not like fat bashing her at all, because she's still a very beautiful woman. But how the hell did she go from 110 pounds to, she must have looked like she gained at least 75 pounds.
Yep,
I mean, and she's still a beautiful lady, so don't, I'm not bashing her on any level. Did she have a child recently, or?
Who knows? Maybe too many trips to Burger King. Who knew?
One of life's little mysteries.
Maybe she went with Jim Cornette to Dairy Queen a couple of times.
Well, if she went to she went there with Corny, she wouldn't be getting any food. They'd be telling her to get the fuck out.
Yeah, that is what happened.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah. She said, and Terry says Christmas dinner. Absolutely, it was freaking Christmas dinner. It was Christmas dinner, Thanksgiving dinner, fucking New Year's dinner. It was fucking Christmas. It was Thanksgiving. It was Halloween. It was the Great Pumpkin giving her shit. Who knows? God damn.
All right.
And you know what? There's so many good women in the back. Sky Blue. We saw that pre-show match, Rick. Sky Blue, Julia Hart, Willow Nightingale, Chris Statlander. My God, you can't tell me that blonde bimbo they can't pick someone better for her to fight than somebody who failed at Jenny Craig.
Oh God.
Hang on, boss. I got to do it. That's Joe at SchoolersRoom.com.
There's that
But
email floating
I
around.
do agree that, honestly, I think the women that are involved in the TBS title picture should be in the AEW women's title picture, and the ones in the TNT women's title picture should be in the TBS title picture.
Well,
They have to flip them.
and that's actually a fair point. But the TBS championship, you look at somebody like Sky Blue, and she was not getting anywhere, and since she's kind of like been focusing more on the TBS division, she's gotten pushed ahead. Julia Hart. I think actually Julia Hart's career took off once she joined the House of Black. Before that, she was going nowhere.
Hell, Statlander.
Yeah. Again, same thing. I think once Jade Cargill dropped the title or moved on, or should I say Statlander defeated her for it, we're starting to see things move around a little bit more. So, yeah, I would like to see some of the smaller size, smaller framed ladies win the TBS championship. They should call it the lightweight women's championship.
Let's also look at it like this, too. Even though she's a big girl, Willow Nightingale is impressing with a lot of stuff now.
Absolutely.
So, she at least wrestles 1,000 times better than Nia Jax. It's a real woman compared to Nyla Rose. So you got that little core group of girls who are better workers than tired Tony Storm and the same fucking and like too big Dana Perazzo. So, let her keep eating them more, and she'll probably be as big as Bull Nakano or Yokozuna or Bertha Faye.
All right. Let's get things moving. Tonight's Dynamite is supposed to have a brand new overhaul, starting with new music, new fonts. They even brought back the old entrance tubes that AEW first had. Um, so I think the real reason why is because when at the beginning of the year when Dynamite started the red and blue logos, which I thought was really nice. A lot of people got on them saying that that's kind of Raw and SmackDown all the time. There's like a whole bunch of little memes. So I think Lance that they might have made this change just for that reason.
Yeah, I mean, hell, there were even people giving them shit because they chose black, gold, and yellow for Collision. Everybody was saying Nitro, Nitro, Nitro.
Well, it's a TNT show, so you know what? They probably won't.
But still, it ain't their company. So, but
well,
I kind of like the shade of purple they're going with.
All right, Joe, your thoughts on this AEW's for Dynamite's new overhaul?
You know what? They should have never changed it to begin with. I like the double tube idea. I like the bigger Titantron. The colors are different. You know, they signify that they're different, a different company. You know, no matter what color they choose or design, people are always going to compare them to this or to that. So I kind of like that original idea. Heels come out one way, baby faces come out the other. They got that big Titantron for them. I like that design. It really, they should have never changed it.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Well, like I said, I mean, I liked that they tried to update their look, but I think the reverting look to this, they kind of have a happy medium this way, and I like it. So, moving along. According to reports, Vince McMahon is sold 5.3 million shares of TKO stock, which is valued at just over $411 million. McMahon still owns 15 million in TKO stock. TKO president Mark Shapiro was asked about McMahon about his recent stock sale, and he pretty much stated the following: we're not having any conversations with him. We don't know his motives, his plans, or his timeline. He doesn't work for this company. He doesn't come into the office, and he's not coming back at any time soon at all. I'm sorry, I misspoke. And that's where we sit. Very simply saying that TKO is done with Vince, and all right across the board, Lance.
Yeah, 400 some odd million. Can you say he's calling Jerry McDevitt to get for a legal defense fund?
You know what? That's the only thing I can think of. Otherwise, he's just trying to wait, like he's building up money and get the hell out of the country. I don't know about you, Joe.
No, you know what? The man is probably needs the money right now. There is an impending lawsuit coming up. You know, it's still, like I said, it's still in litigation. So we got to see where that goes. He's going to need money for lawyers for that. And hell, we've seen how bad judges are when they took Donald Trump and they fined him and they made him pay up $350 million. So, you know, this world is kind of crazy. Vince is just trying to prepare himself and save some money for him. I doubt everybody's saying, oh, he's going to come back, make a new company. Vince is too old to make a new company. Plus, he doesn't have the key players like he had before.
I agree with you.
So at this point, he's just hoarding that money because eventually he's going to need that money sooner or later. So I think that's what we're seeing out of him right now. And since he's gone from TKO in an official set, correct me, Lance, is he gone from actual control?
Except from when he sells those 15 million, then
he's
gone.
just.
But y'all are forgetting one thing. It's not just the lawsuit he's facing right now. He's under federal investigation because of this shit.
True, but right now he's only a stockholder. He's not a board member. You can hold the stock for any company if you have the money and not be a board member. You know? So I think, honestly, he's scared. He knows that shit's coming, is going to hit the fan sooner than later, and I think he's going to need that money. And if for some reason that Janelle Grant wins her civil case, that federal case, as Lance pointed out, will be much, much stronger, and a lot more people will come out and speak on against Vince's behalf. This is not like the 1980s and 1990s where people had Vince's back, and he was behind an iron wall. That wall is crumbling fast, very fast. All right, let's see what else we got on the docket. Hall of Fame's coming around, and for the first, and I gotta say, first off, I read that Paul Heyman was getting inducted in the Hall of Fame, and I hashtagged it. You deserve it. This guy has done everything in the company. He started at ECW. Actually, Joe, I want you to be a little bit more history for me because I know that he purchased East Coast Championship Wrestling, which eventually became Extreme Championship Wrestling, Joe. And I know that you were there right at the end of the transition.
Well, first it was Eastern Championship Wrestling, and it was owned by Todd Gordon. They were part of the NWA under Dennis Caluso at the time. Paul, as we all know, he was Paul E. Dangerously in WCW. He was also in the AWA. He's done a lot of work, brung a lot of people. He's caused a lot of headaches. He's owed a lot of people money. Now, my question at one time was, Paul owes a lot of people money from all this time in WWE and making all this money. Do you honestly think, I wonder if he actually paid some of these guys back just to get in good graces with them, because he's making more. He could say, okay, here's that $2,000 I owe you or something like that. The man, I give him credit. He took an independent company that had a lot of my friends. I was there in the beginning, and I got to see the slow changes on it. Hell, my mentors were there. All three of my mentors, Rockin' Rebel, Jason Knight, who was the ECW television champion, and Booker Eddie Gilbert. So when Paul took over, they wanted to be different, and he made ECW. And I give him credit. He took all the guys who were floating around New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania, Indies, brung them under one banner, and made a product that we'll never forget. Anytime something hardcore happens, what do we all scream? ECW.
Oh, yeah.
You can never forget those three letters and the people involved. So Paul deserves being in the Hall of Fame just for all the contributions he's done. For WWE, he's done his stuff, but his best work is before WWE, ECW, Vern Gagne's AWA, when he managed the original Midnight Express, Dennis Condrey and Randy Rose. And when he went to WCW, he managed the same team, and he managed the Dangerous Alliance. So, man has done a lot in his career.
Yeah. And, I know a lot of people don't really like his current gimmick as part of the bloodline, but you know what? At the end of the day, you also got to look at Brock Lesnar. There are other people who call Paul Heyman guys. CM Punk is a Paul Heyman guy. I forget there are a few other people, but these are the people that he took from almost nothing and brought him up to fame and brought him to stardom. So, Lance, your thoughts on Paul Heyman getting inducted in the Hall of Fame?
Well, I echo everything Joe just said, and basically, he started out as a photographer at MSG, and keeping it short and sweet, it's Philadelphia, it's Heyman. Perfect headliner for the Hall of Fame in Philly.
Sounds like a good idea. And Terry 3G said Heyman shouldn't be inducted a long time ago. And again, I think we're all agreeing on that. Another person who's going to be inducted is Bull Nakano. And a lot of people might not remember her, but she was back in WWE, I think, from 94 to 95, and then she shortly went right after WCW to 95, 96. Aside from those 2 short years, she spent most of her life abroad, whether it be down in Mexico, but she spent most of her career in New Japan Pro Wrestling and other indie events over there. So, Joe, I'm not sure how much more of you're more of a fan of Nakano. I can honestly say I barely remember her.
Oh, she was great. She was a big girl that can move extremely well. She was that era's version of I'm trying to remember the the big girl, the big black girl who used to wrestle. I forget her name. I'm sorry. And she
Kong?
also, huh? I'm sorry.
Awesome Kong?
Awesome Kong. They wrestled a similar style. Awesome Kong learned a lot from Bull Nakano. And remember, she's a former WWF Women's Champion battling Medusa when Medusa was Alundra Blaze. She was part of the Crush Girls with another Japanese woman. I think it was Aja Kong. And they kicked a lot of ass. Now, recently, she really shrunk down. She lost a lot of weight. She it was even more attractive, with her weight loss now. So you know what? I think they're running out of people. So they slowly like, okay, we're gonna take this one. They're gonna take that one. They're gonna take this one. They just now scraping the bottom of the barrel, but they still have not put in Demolition. They
Yeah,
still have put Ivan Koloff. They still haven't put many other greats in there. So right now WWE is just like, okay, who can we? They're looking at like now they're back to the '90s where Nakano is, and no disrespect for Bull Nakano, she deserves it, but there was people way before her that should have been in that Hall of Fame.
absolutely. Like I said, Demolition themselves were a phenomenal tag team, and Vince just decided to bring in LOD or the Road Warriors, and I they just completely just shipped him off like they were nothing, which I thought sucked.
Yeah.
But Lance, your thoughts on Bull Nakano getting inducted in the Hall of Fame?
Well, I mean, because let's face it, Triple H is picking this class this year. So, of course, he's going to pick some people from when he came into the company. I mean, then again, there's been only one female wrestler from that era actually entered into the Hall of Fame right now, Alundra Blaze. So that makes sense. And like you said, had a bunch of runs with some titles in this country, mainly in most of her works in Japan. Now, the fact that she turned her life around because she had a very public drinking problem, the doctor told her either lose weight and quit drinking or, well, it's going to be no more Bull Nakano. And she, like you say, Joe, drastically different and very attractive.
Yeah, Rick, I heard the conversation between Bull Nakano and the doctor and it went like this: "You stop drinking, lose weight, fatty."
God, somehow I knew that was coming.
You want me to say it, boss? That's Joe at ScotiaFilm.com.
It made Rick laugh.
It did. Like I did not see that. I should have seen it coming from you, Joe, but nope, didn't see it.
Nope. See, stuff like that, folks. You gotta let it. You gotta find your openings. It's like a tight virgin. You need to spread the legs slowly and then make your way in.
Yeah, but
not like Soraya that you can bring a fucking train, 2 trains back and forth into her fucking holes.
Oh, God. Not sure. She's got a pretty tight hole, but that's just from what I've seen.
Let's get into the Cunt Express. Woo woo.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Wouldn't that be the whole train?
This tunnel smells like white. This tunnel smells like fish.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Ain't no Polar Express there.
There's also rumored that another one is a Haku is supposed to be inducted in the Hall of Fame, but that has not happened yet. It's not official anyways.
That's a person that so much deserves to be in there. Not only is this guy a legitimate tough guy, you don't want to fuck with Haku Ming or, whatever name they choose to use him on. Haku Ming, whatever. That's one tough motherfucker. But he's like, from what I've heard and read, He's like a gentle guy, really funny. In fact, they just did Dark
Oh,
Side of the
fuck.
Ring with Earthquake, and he's another one. Are the natural disasters in the Hall of Fame?
I don't know. I'm not sure if either one of them made it into it.
So you got him. I don't know if Luna Vachon is in the Hall of Fame. Is she, Lance?
That I'm not sure.
Yeah, there's a lot of names that you think might have, but I mean, there's like so far there's been like what 20, 25 Hall of Fames that offhand. They don't even say what year it is. They
Something
just
like
say it's
that.
2024. So,
Yeah,
but
yeah, he's another one. Deserves. He's been. God, he was part of the Islanders. He was King Tunga when he first started
yep,
in WWF. I'm not. He had a bigger. He also had a big career before that. But if we look at mainstream, King Tonga, that he became part of the Islanders with Tama. Then he went on to be the King when he defeated Harley Race. So he was King Haku.
yep.
He teamed with Andre to win the tag team titles. He went from that to WCW to become Ming, which I think just built up his more tough guy persona. And my God, that man deserves. He should have been in there another one a long time ago.
Yeah. Well, I think honestly, as you said, we first talked about, Joe, is that WWE is running out of room for all these people because they just like slamming them in. They're gonna have to open another wing. It's like the Hall of Fame rejects that Chris Benoit. Vince McMahon will also be able to get in there.
Oh yeah. You know what? Again,
Here's a question: do you think we'll actually see Benoit down the road?
no.
Honestly, no. As much as I think he should for his wrestling abilities, I don't think he'll ever do it. It's just you're murdering your wife and your child. That is just too much to turn your blind eye to. Vince, honestly, I can see happening in like 10 to 15 years when he's completely out of the picture.
All right, Terry 3G says, let's see here. Luna, yes, Luna was inducted. Her sons also competed in Gordon Ramsay's Hell's Kitchen 4 or 5 years ago. She was also posthumously inducted into the WWE's Hall of Fame Legacy Wing class of 2019, into the Professional Wrestling's Hall of Fame in 2020, and the Women's Wrestling Hall of Fame in 2023. So, Luna is in there, and she was another one. But like I said, Rick, there's so many people that deserve to be in there who are not in there, and I think that's a damn shame. If they could put stupid celebrities in there, you would at least bend, while there's still all these guys and girls that are still alive and kicking. Why don't you just bring in a Demolition, give them their due, bring in other people who haven't put in, who contributed a lot to professional wrestling.
I agree,
I think
absolutely.
that's just bad egos.
Well, you know what? They can always bring in Bad Bunny, John Cena, The Rock.
Oh, give it time. They'll bring those. I don't see a problem with The Rock.
Yeah.
The Rock deserves.
The Rock's going in one day.
Yeah.
He's part of the company.
Yeah, I mean, I was talking with somebody in the chat room, and they said Logan Paul. Now, I hate Logan Paul. I'm like, eventually, yes, unless if he does something like illegally fucked up, like
like something in a forest.
Yeah, something like that, something highly illegal, and it's gonna bring him to the main front. Then yeah, he's gonna have a problem. He's not getting in, and that goes with any wrestler.
Well, at least we all can agree on that Ryback will never be in the WWE Hall of Fame.
I don't know. That's a maybe. WWE might get desperate. It might happen. Not saying it will, but it might. But, I'm sure Ryback's waiting for that phone call.
Oh, I'm sure he is. Yeah. They're going to call me. They're going to call me. They're going to call me. Fuck, they haven't called me yet. Okay, they'll call me.
Is this live still good? Yes, okay.
He'll do another poll. What was it, a Twitter poll that he asked fans to vote?
No, that was his website poll.
Oh, that was
and
his
it tanked.
Poll.
And also, I will retire from wrestling if CM Punk comes back at Survivor Series. What happened?
Yeah.
Punk came back, he backed out.
Oh, of course he does. I mean, Ryback is all talk and no show, no follow through. At all.
You
That's
know,
all he is.
speaking about people, I don't know if Nikita Koloff hasn't been in there, but Rick, that final match with Sting's Legacy, I
Yeah.
gotta say how much of a nostalgia trip that was for me, because whenever you're in Greensboro, North Carolina, and you're hearing David Crockett talking with Tony Schiavone, that just gave me the NWA Jim Crockett vibes. And there you had Luger, you had Magnum TA, Nikita Koloff, you had Scotty Riggs, you had a lot of people who was participating from the old NWA era. And AEW was so damn smart to bring in these legends from that era, from that area, that I think that boosted the show more for me because I got to see the legends one more time.
Yeah, and actually, believe it or not, uh, Tony Schiavone, who always has been hammering and hammering AEW, that was the first time he actually gave them credit. He said, saying that how well they showed the nostalgia, how they brought out like his sons dressed up as a Beast Sting and the Wolfpack Sting. And as you said, there was all those other legends that just came out, and he said it just for him, and like you said, it was a thrill ride. It was just brought you right back to the good old days, so to speak.
And that was legitimately the gears from those two eras.
Yeah. So, all right. I think we lost Joe.
No,
It's
I'm
just
here.
Hammer.
Okay.
There we go. I'm back.
And
So,
wow, I think that was it for this week. We kind of went through all our fucking news. I read one thing that Hangman Adam Page is going to be stepping away for a couple of months. Nothing personal. He's not injured. It's just a family issue. So I didn't really think there's a lot really to talk about considering that was all it was. There was no big.
Yeah.
you brung him up. That match with him, Samoa Joe, and Swerve Strickland was another great match.
Yeah.
And we predicted it. It was exactly what we said, that they were going to beat themselves and Joe was going to have his way in it. That I got to say, in that match, the guy who stuck out the most, in my opinion, was Swerve Strickland.
Absolutely.
That guy deserves a title, a long title win. He needs to win a title, hold it for a while, and start beating everybody. And I think that title should be either the international belt or the TNT title. Currently, Christian has that TNT title unless he loses it. But I think it's a great thing if Roderick Strong took on, Swerve Strickland. I think that'll be a great match, and that should be Swerve's role right there, and kind of make him the belt collector, where he wins his belt, drops it, moves on to another belt.
Yeah. Now, I'm glad that they gave Roderick Strong that title, only because Orange Cassidy, as much as I hate to say it, that guy needs a break. That guy's a workhorse. Not every night, but like every Wednesday, you see him on Dynamite, you see him on Rampage, you see him on Collision, and then on pay-per-views. And this guy gets his ass kicked. And I have nothing to say but respect for Orange Cassidy. And I could honestly eventually see him win the big one, the AEW World Championship, somewhere down the line.
Not in unless everybody else dies in a fiery plane crash. You're not going to see that.
Well, this is wrestling, so that has happened.
Yeah, he's good, but not that level good.
Okay.
That's not a marketable guy. That's not a guy that you could just put the belt on and hope, like this is going to take off. Samoa Joe, he's a name, but he's another guy who's meh. Like he's been there. He doesn't bring any charisma or anything to the title. Swerve Strickland does. MJF does. Jericho does. I hate to even put his name in this, but Adam Copeland. But I think right now, this, Orange Cassidy is going to stay in that mid-card level because that's his level. And he's another one. He's killing himself, bleeding buckets, doing all this. He's just shortening his career. And then these guys, what do? They got to take long breaks because they got to recoup before they get permanently injured. So go figure.
Yeah, actually, speaking about taking a line of time to recoup, another thing that interesting that happened at Revolution, we saw the return of Kyle O'Reilly, and he was out almost for 2 years. He had an injured neck, and that was a freak accident. I don't think it was a spot, and that was the first Forbidden Door, if I'm not mistaken, Lance.
I believe so, but honestly, with neck injuries, hell, Braun Strowman's still out with a neck injury in WWE, and it's been I want to say 18 months.
Yeah. We got Big E, and Big E's got his neck. He has an injured neck, and
I got Big E's done.
I think he is too. And
Yeah.
I think he's.
I hate to say it, but
Yeah.
Big E is done.
Yeah, I think that's even he kind of been hinting around it in interviews. He's not saying it outright. He's just saying I have to make better decisions for myself for my future. So to me, that pretty much says yeah, he's throwing in the towel. I can see him doing training, maybe creative writing, with WWE, maybe even do other shit.
I think he could do commentary.
Yeah, absolutely. But even if he just said, you know what, I'm done with WWE. I'm gonna, they got nothing left for me. I'm gonna go do a podcast. I mean, crying out loud, he can do podcasts, and just from his popularity alone, he'd make money.
Hell, give him a podcast on Up, Up, Down, Down.
Hell, let him open a pancake restaurant.
I haven't had dinner yet, and pancakes sound really good.
And Terry 3G said Biggie is smart and saying he's done. He should just hook up with Natty's sister and have a little family with her.
They do have kind of a thing going there.
Oh, do they? Wow.
Well, it's mutual flirting going on.
Oh, okay. So like friends with benefits, but just talking right now.
I want to have friends with benefits with Natty and her sister.
No, Jenny, no, sister Jenny, but yeah, she's got a little hottie too. So, all right, let's see what other juice I got. We got like another 15 minutes we can burn up here. I guess we all know that Matt Riddle's been surfing the Indies over the past couple of months. No, he's actually been clean, surprisingly.
No, but during his WWE run, he was on that.
Yeah, but right now he's saying so far he's either looking into either TNA or AEW.
Oh, God, no.
Well, I think right now is what he said in an interview, in short, is that he's got 4 kids. And he doesn't want to spend a large time on the road. He wants to spend time with his family and kind of relax and whatnot. And I think that, Joe, honestly, is his honest, what he's, his first priority is,
Well, you know what? Plus, nobody really. The guy had his run. He's done his crap. Honestly, I think it's time for him to move off from him. So, the bro can go, fucking throw himself in the river because nobody cares. Honestly, I don't. He should join Ryback, and maybe they could make a team somewhere. But
Throwback?
Yeah, can you imagine those two motherfuckers high? Bro.
I can definitely imagine Matt Riddle high. Everybody can.
Yeah.
Imagine sitting in a room with him and fucking Vince Russo. Bro, you can't do this. Bro, that was fucking fine. Bro, you can't do this. Bro, this is fun. Yeah. Fuck.
All right.
They these people.
Yeah. Lance, what's your thoughts about Riddle possibly going down to TNA?
Riddle, dude, fuck it. I'll use your own language terminology. Riddle, bro. Where are you going to come up with the money?
Yeah, because they're not going to pay you.
Yeah. You can. I could just see him. What the hell is this, bro? Oh, that's just a list of all the food pantries you can go to get free food because we can't pay you. Let's not even talk about NWA power.
Yeah.
No, he said just Impact does.
He said the only 2 ones he was looking at was TNA and AEW. And I think honestly AEW could at least pay him, but and they probably would put him on TV. So
he's not worth it.
yeah,
They're already overcrowded.
true, and that's one thing
Honestly,
right now. AEW is pretty much crowded. They have 3
I,
shows and they still don't have enough room to put everybody on. And I hate to say this, they're lucky that people are injured. Otherwise, they'd have a bigger problem on their hands.
if I was him, I'd do what he was doing before he got signed to WWE. And that's run the indies, because I'm sure there's some companies out there that he was good with and made good money with.
Oh,
That would be
absolutely.
willing to work him again.
Yeah.
Oh
Well,
yeah, there's enough marks out there who will pay him a good fucking couple of hundred, 10,000s or more for them just to fill 60 people in a place.
I'm
Yeah,
talking like
great.
MLW.
Huh?
I'm talking like MLW.
yeah, but
Yeah,
even he's actually looking at MLW like temporary. But I think he was looking for, to go back where he's gonna get, a full, like a salary.
Yep.
And I think sometimes the hunt is kind of sucks. But he could also stay over New Japan Pro Wrestling. New Japan, they love him over there. So, but then again, you're traveling overseas away from your family. 4 kids, you're not going to be traveling with 4 kids. I don't care who you are.
Well, you know what he'll do? He'll do one match a month. He'll make enough money to be set for that month, and then he'll just do it again, because that's what a lot of former WWE guys do anyway. They will do one big match somewhere, New Japan, maybe an indie, where they're gonna pay him $25,000 for that month, and there's your whole month payments right there.
Yeah. So, I'm just trying to look through and just see what else is on the in the news. You guys been reading the rumors about AEW's locker room having being upset, erupt, and not in sync, so to speak? I was been reading a couple of them, and all they've been just doing is hammering AEW, saying that just the locker room isn't working together. They're having issues with Tony Khan because Tony Khan's changing things around, and all these other rumors. And I'm like, where are they all coming from? I'm like reading everywhere, and I can't find where the one actual source says. Dave Meltzer, of course, he takes some credit, but I mean, it's Dave Meltzer, Dave Meltzer.
Yeah.
How can you really call him? So,
I mean, they can't blame Punk anymore because he ain't there. So what happened now?
Well, the funny thing is, actually, somebody brought it up during the Revolution media scrum, and Samoa Joe pretty much said, cleared things up. He says, that was last year. This is AEW underneath my reign, and as far as our locker room community goes, I don't think they've ever been tighter. I don't think there's ever been. I don't think they've ever seen them any better. The enthusiasm backstage, it's infectious, and it's because I have so much new, beckoning talent. So that's just a paraphrase, but I think that was more
drug test Samoa Joe.
Yeah, I think that was just Joe, kind of barking his own ego.
You know what? We don't never really know what's going on in the locker room. We don't know the actual truths and all that. I'm sure there's a little dissension and jealousy going around. When you run a wrestling company and you have all these people and you have these names who come in and they kind of steal the show spots, it kind of becomes a big deal. And look, you had the Young Bucks just swoop in and take a huge match from whoever other guys could have been in there. You have guys like the House of Black that weren't on the card. You have other guys who could have been on the card. It just doesn't happen. So there could be that dissension. And when you said the locker room could be infectious, it's because Saraya keeps opening her legs and everybody gets an infection.
Somehow I knew you were going to bring that one up.
He's the one that brought up infection, so I have to bring that up here.
I don't think he meant it on that level, but
Can you imagine Matt Riddle in AEW like him? Bro, I think I got an infection, bro.
Yeah, his 5th child would be a Brit. That'd be hard to explain.
Oh, he'll be like, bro, Can I smoke that?
Wouldn't that mean brew?
Yeah.
All right. I just read a report that AEW has in fact re-signed Jim Ross for another contract,
Yep.
and he confirmed that on his podcast. And I was like, wow, that's awesome. A lot of people thought because of some of his health issues, his skin cancer, and a lot of shit he's been battling, that this was going to be his last year. And Jim Ross really wanted to push it. So, what's your thoughts, Lance?
I mean, with a legendary commentator like Jim Ross, I mean, it can't hurt.
All right. Joe, your thoughts?
Yeah, I like Jim Ross. He brings that specialty in wrestling commentary that when you put him with someone good to banter with, even if he's just commentating, he's just so knowledgeable. He has experience. I think he's great. After seeing David Crockett, I wish they would give him a chance to be maybe a commentator on one of the lesser shows, like Rampage or something, because him and Tony Schiavone can bring that little southern vibe of the old NWA.
The nostalgia.
Yeah, just to do that every now and then. So I would like to, I love Jim Ross. He's been there. I like Tony Schiavone. I would like to see him, possibly, like I said, David Crockett come back. I would like to see a couple of these other guys who were great, like Mike Tenay.
Oh, I loved Mike Tenay.
Just
Isn't
to come
Iron
back.
Mike with Impact right now?
Yes.
Is he? Oh, I thought he retired.
Poor man.
Oh, he's probably getting paid. That's probably one of the few people they are paying.
Yeah.
Well, they probably have to.
I don't think they're paying him in bingo coins. So. Oh, wow. You know what, guys? It's early, but we're going to wrap up this edition of Hardcore Wrestling Rants. Terry 3G, I want to thank you for coming in the chat room. Please, also, on the weekends, feel free to check out our good friends BC Games and more, Mr. and Mrs. A. What time is the show? Is it 9:30?
It's 9:30 Saturday night. Sometimes they do it Sunday nights, but always look for them. BC Games and more. BC and Mrs. A always do a lot of retro games, and they do giveaways. They're always giving us props, so make sure you check them out. Tell them that Hardcore Wrestling Rants sent you.
Yeah. And, of course, if you want more Wrestling Rants, please check out our Facebook page up there. And a link. We have the latest news, rumors. We do the Baby of the Day, or I try to do the Baby of the Day, and much, much more. Tonight, I will be covering Dynamite. So for those of you who, for some reason, don't have Dynamite coverage, you know where to go to. So, Joe, you're over at Skeleton Realms. What do you got going on over there?
Well, I finally got a damn day off that I can start doing stuff together. So I'll be going back to some of my games that I've been trying to play once again. But you know what? I just came across a treasure trove of old wrestling games from the PlayStation. WCW versus Nitro and WWEF games. So I'm going to check that out. I also got in Saturday, March 30th, we do our WWO live show. Well, it is Saturday Night Slam and Stream. It is on Twitch at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. We have a 7:30 pre-show, and we mix the video game aspect with realism. We got backstage interviews. We've got skits. We have storylines. We have everything. So do the hashtag WWO Live. We're on Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube.
All right. And Lance, you're at Lance Moss TV. What's your kind of stuff you got going on over there?
Right now, it's just Lance Moss TV and Friends Coffee Time every Tuesday night at 7:05 Central, 8:05 Eastern. And we shoot the shit for about an hour, hour and a half. And y'all just come check us out. And Zoe is bringing back her scary stories on Fridays on the Nightmare Vixens Facebook page at 7 Eastern, and that starts this coming Friday.
Yep, and one of her big scary stories is the John Moxley stalkings.
I thought that was John Moxley escaping, but
I'm sure for her, either one's a horror story.
I would love to see Zoe in a hockey mask and a chainsaw chasing John Moxley. That'd be fucking hilarious.
All right, guys.
Oh, somewhere it's always saying, "Oh, God bless his heart."
I can hear she's calling us assholes, but
It's all right. She still loves us, and we love her. So,
yeah.
for the hardcore crew, I am your hardcore host, Rickhead, saying, we'll see you when we see you.
Buy the shirt.